I want to introduce really quickly, as part of our program today, we are going to have periodically throughout the day what are known as city visions, which are innovators working in cities who will bring a short talk to you about an idea that they have used, that we have seen play out, and that can hopefully change the world. So let me introduce our first City Visions presenter, who will be joining me on stage.
Morning. My name is Louisa Hackett, and I'm from Community Votes. Our model for engaging people in low-income communities has resulted in turnout, almost doubling turnout. This was astonishing even to us. I would like to explain how it works using an example from one of our partners, the Jacob Riis Neighborhood Settlement Houses. They operate programs in the largest public housing complex in the country, just across the East River here in Queens. My favorite story happened during an intergenerational Get Out the Vote mailing party. 8 high school students have been asked to attend with 2 seniors. We had hundreds of voting reminder cards to get out. The party started with the high school students sitting around a table eating chicken wings and pizza. Mr. Smith arrived and he parked his walker outside the door and came in and sat at one end of the table. He so engaged the young men that he was talking to that they asked his age, 87, and then they did not want to switch seats to talk to Ms. Maud, the other senior. Meanwhile, Ms. Maud was explaining to the young women at her end of the table that in the 1940s in South Carolina, her parents were too scared to vote. And since she moved north to New York City and became of age, she has not missed one single election. Mr. Smith then talked about the NAACP. He looked around the table and said, "You young people, I'm old now, you need to take up this work." And then he quoted JFK, "Do not ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." The young people were riveted. The young one man old enough asked if he could register to vote, and we registered him on the spot, but he was really disappointed to learn that he had just missed the cutoff to vote in that next election. But I do believe that Mr. Smith and Ms. Maud will have turned that young man into a lifelong voter. So why does this work? It works because first we select organizations that see active civic participation as part of their missions. We then work with their staff to identify opportunities to talk about voting within their existing programs and activities. And we then train the staff to be nonpartisan, to talk about why voting matters, not who to vote for. And lastly, we help them track their voter contacts so that we can send them those reminders to vote and see if, in fact, they voted. So we did it, and it works. And in doing so, we challenged a few assumptions many of us hold. 1, that nothing can be done to reduce low voter turnout. 2, that people who don't vote just don't care. And 3, that nonprofits really aren't allowed or should have nothing to do with elections and voting. So this nonprofit voter engagement model works not just at Riis, but it works across the country because nonprofit staff are trusted when they spread the message that our elections and our democracy works much better and our cities work much better if we all show up on election day. Thank you.